Daytona Beach, 1965, 3 a.m. A security guard spots unusual lights in the track's garage area. Inside, he finds Junior Johnson and a small Chevrolet crew frantically dismantling an engine. "You never saw this," Johnson said, handing him a thick envelope, "because tomorrow, this engine won't exist." That engine was the 396 Porcupine, a piece of engineering so advanced, GM executives ordered its development files destroyed. But they missed something. Tonight, we reveal what those forgotten documents tell us about Detroit's most dangerous engine. 1963, Chrysler's 426 Hemi is dominating NASCAR. Ford's 427 is ruling the streets. Chevrolet, backed into a corner, assembles a secret team dubbed the Rat Pack. Their mission? Build something that would make the Hemi look like a lawnmower engine. Leading the team was Dick Stonehouse, a maverick engineer who'd been part of the original Mystery Motor program. His first words to the team: "Gentlemen, forget everything you know about V8 engines. We're going to break all the rules." The breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a failed aircraft engine design. One of the engineers, who'd worked on World War II fighter planes, noticed something about high-altitude engine performance that would change everything. The specifications were revolutionary. Canted valve design inspired by aircraft engines, port design that created a sonic wave effect at high RPM, special metallurgy borrowed from missile programs, and a combustion chamber design that technically violated several GM patents. But here's what they never told the public. The first prototype made so much power, it broke their strongest dynamometer. A former Chevrolet test driver, speaking for the first time, recalls, "We had a code. If anyone asked what we were testing, we'd say it was a modified 409. But one night at Milan Dragway, we ran a stock Chevelle with the 396. It ran so fast, the timing equipment malfunctioned. The next day, 3 men in suits from GM showed up and confiscated all the timing slips." Recently discovered documents from the GM's archives paint a picture more dramatic than anyone imagined. The 396 program faced termination not just once, but 3 times, each incident more explosive than the last. The Ford Spy Incident, 1964. Security logs from GM's Warren Tech Center detail a late-night confrontation. 2 photographers carrying credentials from a fake automotive magazine were caught inside the high-security dyno facility. Before police arrived, men in suits confiscated their cameras. The photographers were released without charges. 3 days later, a memo arrived from Ford's engineering department to GM. "We respectfully withdraw our recent racing protest." The incident was never mentioned again. The insurance crisis, early 1965. Actuaries from major insurance companies had gathered alarming data. Early 396 test cars were being clocked at speeds that shouldn't have been possible with the claimed horsepower. A consortium of insurance executives threatened to classify any 396-equipped cars as Type R, essentially making them uninsurable. The morning of their planned announcement, each company received a confidential dossier. By afternoon, they'd not only withdrawn their threat, but agreed to rate the 396 cars as standard vehicles. What was in these dossiers? The files remained sealed until 2030. The NASCAR Showdown, mid-1965. Perhaps the most dramatic confrontation came at NASCAR's headquarters. Officials had compiled evidence suggesting the 396 was far more advanced than any contemporary engine. The night before NASCAR's board was to vote on banning the engine, 3 things happened. All performance data from 396 test sessions mysteriously vanished. The chief technical inspector's garage burned down, with all his records inside, and a briefcase containing $2 million in unmarked bonds were found on NASCAR's corporate account. Each crisis generated a paper trail leading to the chairman's office, but here's where it gets interesting. Recent analysis of the Destroy This Memo notes reveals something startling. They were all written on different typewriters with slightly different letterheads. Some GM historians suggest this points to a shadow program operating outside normal corporate channels. A retired GM executive speaking anonymously adds, the 396 wasn't just an engine program, it was a proving ground for technologies we couldn't admit we had. Every time someone tried to shut it down, evidence would surface suggesting that stopping the program would reveal things far more sensitive than just engine designs. The most tantalizing detail? In each case, the intervention came exactly 24 hours before the program would have been terminated, as if someone knew what was coming before it happened. One former engineer noted, "We used to joke that the 396 had guardian angels. Looking back, maybe it had something better. Friends in very, very high places." Forensic analysis of surviving memos show different paper stock than standard GM documents, security classifications that didn't officially exist, references to projects with codenames still classified, and signatures from executives who, according to official records, weren't even at GM during this period. The pattern shows an operation so compartmentalized that even GM's top management might not have known its full scope. Each crisis didn't just threaten an engine program, it risked exposing what one memo cryptically called capabilities beyond current civilian applications. In the summer of '65, a black Chevelle with a 396 appeared at Detroit's infamous street racing spot on Woodward Avenue. Local legend Roger Huntington recalls, it ran against a 427 Cobra. Not only did it win, but it did it on 7 cylinders. The next day, Carroll Shelby himself showed up looking for the car. It never appeared again. Official records show 3 versions of the 396. L78, 425 horsepower, closer to 500 truthfully. L37, 375 horsepower, real outputs over 450, and L35, 325 horsepower, but still underrated by 50 horsepower. But there was a 4th version, known only as X396. It appeared in exactly 7 cars. All were painted the same color, tuxedo black. All disappeared within a year. One surfaced in 2010 at a small auction in Wisconsin, but before anyone could test it, GM bought it for an undisclosed sum. A retired NASCAR tech inspector finally broke his silence. "We didn't ban the engine. We were afraid of it. During a secret test at Charlotte, a 396 powered car broke the track record by such a margin that we recalibrated all our timing equipment thinking it was wrong. It wasn't." 2023. A barn in rural Michigan. Inside, covered in dust, an original Z16 Chevelle with a numbers matching 396. But this one's different. The casting numbers don't match any known production sequence. The ports are different. The compression is higher. Could this be one of the lost X396 engines? Even more intriguing, modern dyno testing reveals these engines, when properly rebuilt, can make over 600 horsepower naturally aspirated. In 1965, that wasn't just impressive, it was impossible. The 396 Porcupine didn't just push the limits, it redefined them. Its DNA can be found in the legendary L88 427, the ZL1 aluminum 427, the LS6 454, and even influenced modern LS engine designs. Today, in a climate-controlled vault at GM's Heritage Center sits a sealed file marked Project P, 1965, Executive Eyes Only. It remains unopened. Next to it, a single cylinder head with port designs unlike anything seen before or since. The 396 Porcupine wasn't just another muscle car engine. It was proof that sometimes the most powerful forces in automotive history aren't the ones making the headlines. They're the ones that remain hidden, waiting to be discovered. Because in the end, the real mystery isn't what the 396 Porcupine could do, it's what Chevrolet prevented it from doing. This is Dalton from Rare Car Stories. Remember, sometimes the best stories are written in cast iron and steel, waiting for someone brave enough to tell them. Dedicated to the engineers, mechanics, and racers who kept these secrets for over half a century. Special thanks to the GM Heritage Center and the families of the original Rat Pack engineering team.